G'day. Welcome to the Motorsport Moshpit podcast. So today we're going to be talking about Formula One and highlighting and hyping up the Australian Grand Prix. So yeah, let's get into it, shall we?
Let's dive into, let's put an extra two wheels back on and put some extra active aero on, and let's talk about Formula One. You know, the testing is wrapped up. The Australian Grand Prix is next weekend. So far, at the moment, it looks like Mercedes are strong. McLaren are typically strong as well, but Ferrari, you know, they're off to a good start testing-wise. But the question is Ferrari, so are they going to fumble this year?
It's definitely giving me 2022 vibes with the Ferrari. You know, really good in testing. They start the season pretty well, but then kind of drop off. That's the kind of impression I'm getting at the moment. But I also think that testing and using that as a form guide is just absolutely stupid. Because if you look at like testing over the years, typically the team that's fastest doesn't necessarily win the championship. I've actually got a bit of a list here. I've done some research. For some reason, I'm actually we're doing journalism here, guys. It's a bit of a surprise. But for example,
hang on. This isn't professional. What is this?
You know who's the fastest guy in testing?
Who?
Guess who the fastest in testing was last year? Williams.
What?
Oh yeah, they were. Hey.
Yeah, Carlos Sainz.
I don't remember that.
Fastest lap.
I don't remember the fastest lap. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
are you going basically purely off purely off lap time?
I've got two options. So I've got the fastest lap, and then I've also got the average laps of every single lap collated from last year as well.
Who was that?
So on average lap times, it was Red Bull, Mercedes, Ferrari, McLaren, Williams. Top five.
Yeah, and that was pretty much the pecking order as well. Not in that order, but that was the top five, really.
Yeah.
But I guess, you know, I'm all trying to say is like the ones that ended at the top, not necessarily the quickest.
So what you're saying?
Variables with those things, and
so what you're saying is Fernando Alonso is somehow going to be champion this year.
Definitely, yeah, obviously. Yeah.
So
this is
that actually makes sense. So the power slide we saw out of the last turn onto the main straight, that's just him doing his victory celebration practice. That's not him being frustrated with the Honda power unit. That's just him just hanging it out sideways going, "Ah, you stupid young bastards, I'm 40-something years old and just won my third title. I still got it." Like,
it's just Honda has too much power. That's why. Like, they're all just sandbags. It's the world's greatest sandbag.
Yeah, he's only just covering it up. You know, he said, "Oh, this lap's a little too good. I have to wheel spin out of this one just to, you know, just to level it out." So,
yeah, exactly.
I mean, you don't even need him to sandbag. So
yeah.
But maybe we go team by team and just kind of give our impressions of each. Is that reckon that's the way to go?
Yeah, we can do that. We'll do it that way. So yeah, I'll say. Who will we go first?
Let's start with Aston Martin. We're already talking about them, and obviously they're a bit of a shit show. So maybe Pheven.
Thoughts on Aston Martin, apart from having a window licker for a driver.
I laughed too hard at that.
Do you know who? Lawrence Stroll. Sorry. Lawrence Stroll is already sending the men in white coats to my house right now, and like, no, it's not men in white coats. Dudes in suits just with AK-47s, just like.
Do you know who Lance Stroll or Mr. Window Licker should hang out with? Mr. Will Windscreen from Supercars.
Oh, yeah, that's the origins of that.
Yeah,
I have not. Who came up with the idea?
Only people that we're friends with are going to understand that reference. So everyone else listening is going to be like, what the hell are these dudes on about?
No. But who wrote that? Someone had to type that out for it to be there.
It's why you don't let the work experience kids do the graphics at a Supercars weekend. Like, come on.
Yeah, true.
But, yeah, back to what you were asking. Aston Martin, it's surprising. I think I'm going to come out and say it and straight away now. I wouldn't be surprised if the aero package on that car is really up there, considering it's got Newey's input. But the fact that they're struggling with Honda is actually a bit surprising to me, to be honest. Considering I know it's a different a set of engine regulations this year with the 50-50 split, which off topic for a second, but this 50-50 split with the battery and the ICE, absolute shit. Get rid of it. Bring back V10s. Or even a V8 for crying out loud. Like this, I'm sorry, but watching a car go down the straight and losing battery power and dropping revs when they're meant to be getting faster, that is not Formula One. That is not racing. I don't care what anyone says. But I got that to get out of my system. I'm okay now. Oh, shit, my phone fell over. This is not going well. He got that angry. He was throwing his technology around the room. But again, back to
if
Aston
anything,
Martin.
you were acting like Fernando Alonso.
You were just trying to simulate the Ferrari rear wing with your phone.
Yeah, exactly. It's just
Yeah, the rotisserie chicken.
honestly,
That's what it is.
well, Hamilton's vegan, so if you really wanted to screw with him, just put like a rotisserie chicken on the rear wing every time he drives down the straight. Like,
Hey, they'll make him go faster, I guess.
Awesome, the way that,
yeah. But again,
Maybe that was their whole plan.
Maybe that was their plan. Maybe that was their plan to get rid of him, so they could just put rotisserie like chickens or pigs or something on the back of his car. It's just like, we don't want vegans in our team. Just like bugger off back to where you came from. Go back to Mercedes or something.
well, they are Italian and they love a good feed. So
Yeah, exactly.
It's true.
But
It's true.
yeah, like I was saying, back to Aston Martin. Yeah, I think they can come good later on in the year, but it's not looking good right now. I think give them to maybe at least similar to what I said about the Supras and supercars. Maybe if they're gonna turn this around, because it wasn't looking good in testing. You saw like the 6-lap thing they did in testing. Like they only wanted to complete 6 laps that day, which means obviously there's something clearly wrong, or they're just trolling everyone very strategically. But yeah, it's not looking good for Aston at the moment. But I really hope that they can turn it around, because regardless of his age, I think Alonso's still got it, and he's still capable of running up the front. Like, look at what we saw in 2023 when the car wasn't that great, but it was still somewhat on par with the Red Bull that year. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on Aston. So, it's a little bit painful to watch, but hopefully they can turn it around.
because what they're saying, it was like 4 seconds off the pace on average, which is horrific.
4.5.
Oh, that's shocking.
Yeah.
That makes the 2015 McLaren look like the RB19.
Yeah.
There genuinely is a chance they may not meet pre-qualifying. Like that's how behind they are, and that's terrifying considering, like, you know, Cadillac, literally a new team. They've started from scratch and just literally building their team may beat them. Like, that's kind of horrific considering all the money and resourcing that's gone to Aston Martin. You know, there's big names there now. You've just got Newey and Alonso and those kind of people. Mike Crack, which is the funniest name ever, by the way.
Oh, it's
That
mint.
guy was definitely bullied at school.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, honestly, Honda have been behind, but I really didn't think they would be this behind. I really thought they would
No,
be in
definitely
2017, but obviously not.
Unless they pause their development and then just suddenly continued it from 2017. You know, it feels like that because they're just at the very bottom again. And the question is, if this keeps up throughout the season, maybe Fernando might just give up and leave, like Formula One altogether. You know, he's got I think a child coming soon or something. He's becoming a dad this year, so obviously life's changing for him. So that could be a factor in it. But yeah, considering the whole hype between Honda backing them, Adrian Newey going there, they're not off to a good start. That's for sure.
Oh, and considering look at what they've done at the Silverstone facility in the last 2 or 3 years, like the amount of money that's been poured into it and the amount of like stuff that's been put into that building, and you'd think, like, I know as some people were really hyping it up, saying like, oh, Aston Martin's going to come out and blow everyone's doors off in 2026. Like, no one. If you thought that, then you need a reality check. Like, I thought they'd at least be decent, but no, not like this. It's almost like Honda's just gone, oh, we're back with Alonso now. Here's some leftover engines from 2015 that we never got you to race with. We're just going to give them to you now so you can enjoy the full experience. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's it.
We're not giving you a GP2 engine this time. We're giving you a GP3 engine. Fuck you.
No, we're not giving you a
Honda
GP2 engine. Yeah, Honda Civic.
It's a Honda Civic engine.
Yeah. We're not giving you a GP2 engine. We're giving you an F2 engine because they've rebranded. So there you go. That changes the whole aspect of it.
Hashtag VTech, yo.
Yeah. What's next on the list? Well, who else do we have? We got.
Who's next?
Let's go Cadillac. Yeah, go Cadillac. You know, the comparison. You know, the team that we thought were supposed to be in the position that Aston's in. When in reality, they're not too shabby. You know, they're off to a pretty decent start. They're still learning, but they've got a lot more potential than Aston, that's for sure.
For sure. Like, yeah, even I'm not sure if you guys have seen the behind the scenes of the Cadillac. They've been doing a whole YouTube series from like pretty much from scratch to now. It's actually a really good watch if you guys are interested, anyone listening. But yeah, the fact that they've kind of come through, you know, obviously with two very experienced drivers, but to come through and only be that far off the pace is pretty impressive. And obviously it helps having the Ferrari engine, which from what I've heard, has got a smaller turbo than everyone else's, which will help with those lower corners and obviously at the starts. And yeah, so obviously they're just trying to get themselves going, and they're obviously using a more conservative route than most teams. So honestly, I reckon if they can keep their kind of consistency going and the conservative rates going, I wouldn't be surprised if they get points by the end of the year.
Definitely. They kind of felt like Cadillac, that is, like they flew under the radar a little bit in testing. Like obviously there's the big hype around them at the moment because being the new team, being the other American team now, like obviously like Haas got the similar fanfare when they first entered the sport. But I feel like they just flew under the radar, did their own thing. Expectations wise, I'm not really sure. I think, like you said, they've got very two capable drivers in Bottas and Perez, both proven race winners, very good number two drivers for the teams that were in previously, and racing for some two of the biggest teams on the grid. So they can bring that experience along with them, especially with like developing the car. But yeah, I'm not so sure. I think they strike me as they'll be a team in the right place at the right time to just pick up whatever's there in terms of points wise. But I'm not expecting anything huge from them straight away. Like you can't expect that from a new team. But yeah, I reckon we'll see some surprises from them at certain points during the year. So yeah, and obviously being their first year will be something to build on. So yeah, I'm keen to see what they do. But yeah, not holding my breath. Yeah, that's not knocking them, by the way. It's just yeah, we'll just see.
Should we move on to? Oh yeah. I'll just well, they've got a good driver lineup. You know, that's one thing I've excited to see. You know, we've seen how strong they are. Obviously, first season, you know, there's a whole bunch of learning. But the fact that they're joining with new regulations as well, it puts everyone to zero, which is good. That's the main thing. But one thing I want to mention as well is it's going to be different in a couple years' time when they switch over to Cadillac power. Because at the moment, they've just got Ferrari. So I see this as a multi-year plan. These next couple years will be all about learning, understanding how the cars operate, what runs best. So once they switch to their own engines, that's when they'll be ready to attack, hopefully. So it'll be interesting to see, that's for sure.
So
that's when they get the Agritech V6s, right? Straight out of the Commodore.
That's it. That's it.
Many mains on that front straight, mate.
Exactly, yeah.
All right, so who's next?
Williams.
Shit, here we go again.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
POV.
That's going to sum up Lance Stroll's season.
Yeah, that was Williams during their crash test.
Yeah.
during the season. Yeah. Williams. No, I think. Yeah, I reckon they'll. I have hopes for them. Obviously, they did so really well last season. You know, quite a few standout performances. They have had a bit of a tricky start. Obviously, not making it to the Barcelona shakedown, but they have successfully completed a decent amount of laps these last couple of weeks for testing. So I'm excited to see how they go. I think I'm just looking here real quick. For the second Bahrain test, the fastest time they did was a 34.3 compared to 31.9. Obviously, completely different. Like, times don't matter much in testing. But I'm just hoping that they have another good season and they can build off the success that they had last year.
Oh, 100%. Like, Williams is looking a bit hit and miss because I mean, obviously missing out on the Barcelona testing was a big issue. I think everyone was kind of expecting to be where Aston Martin is at the moment, but they've kind of quietly done their own thing. They've, as you said, they've got really good mileage, but yeah, it's going to be interesting because it seems like they've got a high rake in the design, so it seems very twitchy at times in some of the corners, like most of the cars. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they develop that car over the coming months, especially coming into the European season, where generally the development is most heavy. But I think they're probably going to be a midfield team fighting for the midfield, potentially the early points at the start. But I think towards the end of the year, especially with those Mercedes engines, because they're sounding pretty solid, yeah, I think they're going to definitely get up there, especially with two great drivers.
Definitely, I agree.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I agree with that too. Personally, I would really love to see them have like a 2014 style season where they that was the first year, obviously, of the turbo hybrids, and they came out and were probably third best behind Red Bull and Mercedes at the time, and snagging podium finishes here and there. And I think even Massa even got 1 or 2 poles that season from memory. That's what I'd like to see, but again, missing the Barcelona test, obviously not a great start, and the talks about them not getting down, being a few kilos too heavy. Hopefully they sort that out if they already haven't. But hopefully we see a bit more continue on from what we saw last year. Like, they weren't always like the top midfield team at times, but like Carlos obviously getting a few podiums, I would like to see more of that. And I definitely feel that because they weren't too focused on the last couple of years of the ground effect era, apparently, hopefully they've found hopefully that they've found something to be like a regular midfield, like top of the midfield contender, and like snag podiums here and there. So I think Williams is probably definitely on the right path to getting back to the top, but it's still a long road yet. But it'd be interesting to see how they go this year.
Definitely, yeah. And I think they've been nowhere for so long. Like, they've started to get progression, and it's kind of nice seeing them, on podiums and things like that. Because it's kind of a shame to see Williams and just one of the most respected teams, one of the most successful teams, just being nowhere really. So it's nice to hopefully see them be a lot more competitive towards the end of the year.
Oh, exactly. Like, sorry to cut you off, but like, it's even wild to think that a team like Williams has been down the bottom of the pecking order for so long. I mean, yeah, we've seen Ferrari go for that stage at various points. Like, for the longest time, we saw McLaren like fighting for last place, for goodness sake. But then you got a team like Williams who have been like, who fit into that core group of like I said, like Ferrari, Williams, McLaren, like 3 teams that have been around for so friggin' long. It's just weird to not see them up there. So hopefully we see some resurgence continue a bit more this year. But yeah, like we said before, like with these new cars, everyone's back to zero. You never know what's going to happen.
Speaking of not knowing what's going to happen, Audi kind of being a bit surprising in testing. They obviously kind of came in and everyone was a bit kind of surprised about, they're actually being really competitive. They're doing some decent mileage, and they've even been developing the car a fair bit as well. In the Bahrain, obviously their side pods are like completely different now, and yeah, it's quite fascinating because obviously it's a new car, new engine. I know technically it's a new team, but it's not really a new team, let's be honest. But yeah, it's quite fascinating to see where they've come from, and I'd be curious to see where they kind of go, because I don't know where I'd put them right now. I just think that would be like a bit of a Q2 kind of midfield approach, but I don't know, it could be like Sauber last year where they just kind of surprised the shit out of everyone.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously they've gone for a very unique shape in their aerodynamics. Obviously with their side pod, looks very, very interesting. And of course they're also brand new powertrain, the first one we've seen. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that performs and handles as the season progresses too. So there's multiple factors. In a way, it's similar to what Cadillac will be dealing with in a couple of years' time. But of course, we've got Bortoletto, who did really well last season. Hulkenberg, we know how good he can be. He got his first podium last year in a shitbox, must I add. So if this car is any good, hopefully we have some good results this season. It'll be so cool to see someone else in the fight as well this season.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely be good to see more than one, more than like the top three teams up there fighting. I'm not really sure where to put Audi, to be honest. Like, again, like I feel like they somewhat flew under the radar as well because I didn't get a chance to watch all of the testing. I'll admit, like saw bits of them here and there. I obviously feel like there was probably a lot more attention as to what McLaren's doing, what Ferrari's doing with that rear wing. Like there was a big talking point for a couple of days. There's something as wild as like Red Bull being the only car to successfully change down the first gear, and everyone else tried to copy it, like stuff like that. But we'll get to that in a second. Yeah, Audi. I'm not really sure. I'll probably put him in the same boat as Williams midfield, but maybe also a little bit of Cadillac too. Like maybe they'll be in a right place, right time type of scenario and pull off some surprise results. Yeah, I'm not really sure what to think, to be honest.
Definitely, yeah, it's a bit of an interesting one, but I think one that probably might be a bit more easier to place right now is Racing Bulls. Probably, in my opinion, probably my favorite livery of the year. I mean, white wheels just get me aroused.
Oh, it's so good to look at.
It's mint.
I'm also incredibly biased because, Liam Lawson, fellow Kiwi, represent. Yeah, but I guess, Dan, do you want to go first?
Well, the only thing I don't like about the Racing Bulls is the giant, massive fucking airbox that they have. That's the size of the moon, essentially. It really sticks out. It sticks out so much. But in seriousness... Exactly, that's exactly what it looks like. It's quite fucking funny. But in seriousness, though, I'm actually excited. I think they'll be actually potentially the quickest midfield team, maybe on the cusps of being decent if that car's good. We've seen some pretty impressive driving and testing by Lindblad so far. Given how he's only a rookie, his performance is one to look out for. So I'm excited. Obviously, last year we saw them actually better than Red Bull at some point, before Red Bull finally started picking up the pace. But I'm excited to see how they go this season. I can see them easily being the top midfield team, that's for sure.
So, Maka, what do you think?
I'm not too sure. I think they'll definitely be in the midfield. Lindblad obviously has Formula E experience as well, which will be really vital in these kind of cars. Obviously discharging and recharging is such a big thing, and in Formula E is obviously like part of the religion. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It doesn't seem like a horribly bad car to drive. Like there's a few mistakes under the brakes going into that corner, but everyone else bloody did the same thing. So yeah, I don't know. I think it will have points, but I think beyond that it might be tough at the moment. And I don't know, but it looks good, so I'm happy about that. That's the main thing.
Racing Bulls. Sorry.
No, you go.
Sorry, I didn't realize it. Yeah, to get that stupid feed. Fucking up. Racing Bulls. I don't disagree with the prediction of possibly being the top of the midfield. Like, I already know, but I said that I could see probably Williams towards the pointy end of the midfield. But but I wouldn't be surprised if out of the gate they are actually the midfield team to beat. Get rid of that stupid four-wheel drive looking airbox, because that's just horrendous to look at. Really keen to see how Lindblad, or however you say his name, goes. Promising young talent, and even though he's at such a young age, but he's obviously doing something right for the Red Bull program to see fit to put him into F1. Keen to see how Liam Lawson does this year. Like, he, apart from the shaky start, being demoted after 2 races out of the senior team, but he actually didn't do He actually didn't do too bad back in the Racing Bulls for the rest of the season. But white wheels, man, that is just like chef's kiss stuff right there. Like, when I saw that car on Ballard, I was like, why is it always I don't mind the Red Bull livery this year, but why is it always the junior team that looks better? Can someone answer that? Like, why is it always the junior team that looks like the cooler car? What is with that crap? But I remember back in like the V8 era when Toro Rosso first came onto the scene, and it had the massive but it had like the plain Red Bull, not the like Red Bull logo you see on the senior car, but like just the massive, like, menacing big prick on the side, and it just looked awesome. Like, especially the one that Sebastian Vettel drove to victory in Monza back in 2008. I think it was.
Yeah.
But get it. I don't know why, but it's always like even the 2024 car, the one when Danny made his return. Like they've always just had the better looking car than the senior team. I'm not sure why. Performance wise, obviously being their own team, even though they're part of the Red Bull family, I don't think it'll be too bad. But the thing is, it's hard to say that you kind of just always expect them to be somewhere in like the middle of the pecking order because like they'll be great, but they're not like outstanding great because it's always going to be like it's the senior team that's gonna trump them at the end of the day. But what I would like to see is, like I said, because essentially they're still their own team, even though like it's the B team for Red Bull. But how cool would it be to see them actually fighting like wheel to wheel with the two senior drivers, and not just because the other two had a crap qualifying, like actually on merit. Like we saw a few times last year where the Racing Bulls were a bit better than the Red Bulls. Like, but how cool would that be to see, like, regularly? It's just, like, the two juniors taking it to the seniors, and, like, I don't know, can you imagine Lindblad pulling up next to Max Verstappen and going, like, screw you, I'm coming for your seat, like...
Yeah, that would be interesting, wouldn't it?
But knowing Max, if he did that, Lindblad would end up in the fence or the gravel trap the next lap, like...
Or just straight up demoted, yeah. Let's move to Alpine, because that's someone I want to talk about, because not only do they have the exact same livery as last season, but they don't have the same engine. They've switched from Renault power to Mercedes, and from the looks of it, it's definitely worked in their favour. They were pretty strong and very consistent throughout testing. Even in the shakedown, they were pretty decent as well.
But considering the shitbox they had last year, they've obviously didn't. They must have just started development really early in last year for this car, because it sounds like a pretty decent package. They've obviously paired it well with the Mercedes engine really well, and I genuinely think that this probably will be potentially getting a few Q3s this year at the moment. Seems like a good pace. I'm still iffy on Colapinto. He kind of had his controller disconnect during the start testing they did.
Yeah, sorry, Q3's only with Gasly.
yeah. But I genuinely think Gasly will be a big surprise this year. I genuinely think that he might even get the odd top 5 finish if things go to plan.
No, agreed. Definitely agree for sure. Pheven, what do you reckon?
I think it's going to be a year of redemption for Alpine, considering what their last couple of seasons have been like. Like they, in the ground effect era, they weren't, I wouldn't say terrible, but last year was just shocking. But they've got every chance to build and come back and be taken seriously again. And I hope for their sake that they do, now that they've got the Mercedes power unit, because it was obvious that Renault was just not working for them anymore. And they needed a switch, and they've made the switch to Mercedes. And like you said, apart from the livery being pretty much the same, and the fact that they've got Colapinto, I reckon they could be a very big surprise this year. Like we've all seen how good Pierre Gasly is and what he's done in non-top tier equipment, especially his time at AlphaTauri, Toro Rosso, whatever you want to call it. Went through like 2 team names when he was there. So we've seen what he's capable of, and I think if the car's up to scratch, I think we could see some very standout results for him. Yeah, it's just going to be a case of like it didn't look too bad in testing. It's just if they can just find something and just work forward with it, because like even you notice in like even I think it was in the 2024 season, they started off the year like pretty average, and you had Pierre and Esteban like bashing in, knocking 7 bells of shite out of each other every chance they got. But then towards the end of the season, like, they came really good. Like they came really good, and I think they grabbed P6 and the constructors like right at the right time. So like it shows that team's more than capable of doing the job. It's just like, can they actually find something that works this time around for these new regs and actually run with it and just get better, like keep the snowball going?
Yeah, no, exactly. A lot of
Corey as well. Like that guy does. That guy doesn't fuck around.
No, and we all know that. And I hate the guy. But at least he knows how to get shit done. Exactly. Are we going to see that again this season? Who knows? But No, like
Well,
a
I
lot
mean,
of
you've got
last
the
year was
perfect
about
guy in Frank-
reliability.
I'm sorry, but you got the perfect guy in Franco Colapinto to pull off another crash gate. Like,
That's true. That is very
Yeah,
true.
we're going to see that 18th anniversary celebration.
yeah,
Oh
why
god,
not?
what a way
Like,
to celebrate, I suppose. Yeah. Nah, but a lot of last year was due to the engine.
For legal
right?
reasons, we never spoke about this.
Yeah, exactly. We don't. This whole segment doesn't exist on the record. But nah, back to seriousness though. Yeah, exactly. Last year, what let them down was the engine and reliability with it, and its performance. So if all they need is a good engine, hopefully we see some good results for them. I don't like Franco, but I do love Pierre, and I hope he does really well this season. And if that means Franco's going to do well as well, then I guess that's a plus. You know, it's good to see more talent and more teams in the mix of these battles, because obviously
100%.
we usually see one team just run away with it. It will be nice to see others.
Doing a better job than Jack doing.
Exactly. Hey, at least he's consistent.
Yeah, well,
You know,
I'm sorry,
consistently
we can
crashing at the
still-
same corner for 3 days.
yeah. I'm sorry. We can shit on Colapinto all we want, but at least we're not going to go through the first turn at Suzuka with the friggin' DRS still open because he did it in the sim.
I'm glad, in reality, I'm glad that he's at Haas. Yeah. Yeah, don't let him. That reminds me, because obviously he's reserve at Haas this year. Glad to see him there. Hopefully it's a bit of a better work environment for him. But yeah, don't let him near Suzuka.
Oh, 100%.
He can have a weekend off or something. Just in case.
Yeah.
Just like
Just for now.
F1. He's like, no. Get out of the car.
Exactly.
Even though he doesn't work there anymore, you got Gunther Steiner on the line saying, "Bunch of vankers, don't put him in the car."
Yeah.
I
Who
guess
was
we might
next
as
on
well
the
just
list?
start talking about Haas.
Oh, Haas.
Because,
Yeah.
Haas are looking awesome. Like, I genuinely reckon they're going to be the big surprise this year because, like, they just ran really well. The Ferrari engine's obviously looking really good this year. Seems pretty well balanced, like going around the corners and things. There wasn't a lot of mistakes that went on, and not many issues. So, because I guess the big question though is the drivers. Like we know Behrman can do alright at times, but he's also pretty young and can do some dumb shit. And then Ocon is generally one of those guys that can pull performances out of his ass, but at the same time, he's also done some dumb shit.
And he's French.
It'll be interesting. Yeah, he's French. Yeah, but it's going to be interesting, especially since it's a Toyota that's not a Toyota. And also, I just want to say, Walkinshaw, that's how you integrate GR properly into a livery. All right, just look at that, copy and paste it. All right.
Instead of the Groptus-mobile.
Yeah, instead of the Groptus-mobile. But yeah, I genuinely reckon there will be a couple of surprise podiums for these guys if they can sort it out. It seems like a bloody good car. They've got a good base, and I think just with continued development, I think there's going to be it's going to be like 2022 Haas, where there's going to be a couple of solid results, and they'll just come out of nowhere.
Yeah, well put.
No, definitely.
Haas. Yeah, it's looking promising for Haas. Like, obviously, how long? This is their 10th year, isn't it? 2016 was when they started.
Yep.
Yeah, 10th
Yep.
season. Yeah, I'm actually expecting good things from them. Like, it'd be awesome to watch. Like, and what we saw in testing, like the car, like you said, the car does seem like a decent package. And obviously now they've got with the, since last year, obviously, so I should say, the technical partnership with Toyota. Sorry, what was I going to say? Forgotten, just had a mind blank. It's been a long day, sorry. But yeah, I think got two very capable drivers in Ollie Behrman and Esteban Ocon, and I think, but now with a bit more experience under his belt, we could probably see a better side of Ollie Behrman. Like we saw how good he was when he filled in for Carlos a couple of years ago at the race in Jeddah in the Ferrari, and points finished on his debut, even though that car was pretty good that year, but he still had to drive the thing. And we know that Ocon's more than capable of putting himself in the right situations at the right time. So yeah, I reckon we can see some exciting things from that team this year. Like you said, like the car seems to be decent. They seem to have a good understanding of it, and obviously still having the Ferrari power unit as well. So yeah, Yeah, I'll just say it again. I think exciting times for Haas this season.
I couldn't agree more. Especially, even it feels reinvented now with the Toyota backing. They're part of the Groptus squad now, the GR squad. So I'm excited to see how they go this season for sure. No, definitely. They're the ones I'm actually excited to and hope that they do well. That's for sure. No, I definitely agree.
So just before we move on from going to the next team, but I just want to go back to for a second. I just want to ask you two lads a question, and for anyone who's listening, let us know your thoughts as well. The partnership they now have with Toyota Gazoo Racing. I know that there's been a lot of speculation about it, especially like with some like very like well-respected media who cover F1. Like they're not sure if it's going to happen or not. But what are the chances you reckon that Toyota will fully take over that team and re-enter the sport like completely as their own brand, like not just a technical or naming rights partner?
I feel that's where it's heading. I can see that easily happening heading into, even if, this whole regulation period is about them slowly taking over. So when the next regulation period begins, that's when they fully change over. Like, for example, Kick or whatever, Sauber changed to Audi in the next regulations. I reckon that could easily happen, definitely. Because Toyota don't do any... We've seen with the Supra in supercars, they don't do anything if they're not going to be involved. They're fully supporting it, and 100%. You can kind of tell that they're coming back in some way.
It's an interesting one because I think Toyota are kind of coming in slowly because their last effort in F1, where they just went absolutely chaotic, threw a lot of money in it, and realistically did a horrifically bad job considering how
shit show
spent. Absolute shit show. I think they're probably coming in a bit more carefully, but at the same time, I'm also have a feeling that their WEC program is starting to tone down a bit, and they eventually might pull out. That's when I reckon they'll go, okay, now we're going into F1 now. I just have, they have a lot of experience with these hybrid motors, obviously being in WEC, and the way that, the energy discharges and the harnesses and all that kind of jazz. So it's going to be, I definitely think it will happen at some point, but it will happen over a period of time, I believe. Like it doesn't make any sense that you just build chassis and then be a technical partner and that's it.
Yeah, well put. And I agree with both of what you said too. I was a bit skeptical at first, but the more you look into it now, it seems like it could be very likely. But also too, like what we touched on earlier with supercars, like Toyota coming in is a big deal. Like especially like with this is going to talk about supercars. Like even though we're talking about F1, this is going to go back to supercars for a moment. But with talks about what GM's future could be, it's a massive thing to have the Toyota in now, and like it just to me it just proves that they're looking at Toyota as a company, just like looking at expanding their avenues. Like when you mentioned the thing with WEC, it's gonna be interesting to see what they do there. But it's very telling if you're willing to put your name out there, even like as a naming rights sponsor. Is it maybe just part of just a massive, like, let's just say, I don't know, a 5-year plan to eventually either start their own team or take over Haas in the future? Yeah, but I think the possibility of Toyota coming back there's a good chance of it, but when that happens, I'm not sure.
Well, it's a big marketing thing at the end of the day. Like, if I was watching that Toyota Supercar documentary that came out recently, and they had the CEO of Toyota there, and he's talking about how, they're obviously with the Chinese motor industry coming into play, and obviously they're growing like crazy. Toyota are trying to get that way to keep that emotional attachment, because the fact is, like, the average person has some form of connection with a Toyota, whether they may have owned one themselves or whatever. And obviously motorsport is one of those most emotional forms of marketing. Like, it's a really good way to kind of connect with people and create that attachment to a brand. Like, how many people do you know that are massive Holden and Ford fans, but they've never owned one in their lives? Like, it's quite a common thing. I know plenty of people who are Ferrari fans have probably never even owned one. And
hey, Richie.
Yeah. Oh God. But it's just a good marketing plan, and I think with Toyota, they're obviously pushing their GR performance brand. They've been doing that for years with the WRC and WEC, and they're doing it with supercars and F1. Obviously, even in New Zealand, they've got the GR, whatever they call it now, Formula Regional Oceanic fucking GT Formula cars. Well, they used to call it the Toyota Racing Series, and they decided, fuck it, let's make it really confusing. But that's obviously quite, a big promotion of their motorsport activity. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do with F1, but they're obviously looking at the ways they can create that emotional attachment with the brand and use that as a point of difference with all these Chinese brands coming in.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a no-brainer if you think about it.
I feel like lately, these days in motorsport... Go on. Which one do you pick? Because I was going to pick Red Bull, I reckon. Just because...
Red Bull.
Yeah, just because I reckon... Because lately in the motorsport world, at least in Australia... But even... No, sorry, I take that back. Worldwide. As well as Toyota putting in more involvement in the sport, Ford has also upped the involvement. Obviously, with the hypercar coming back to Le Mans, with the hypercar in next year, but also them returning to Formula One with Red Bull. What do we reckon Red Bull's going to do this season? Obviously, now that they're very similar to what they were like last season, even with the Ford engine. I reckon we're in for a good year, hopefully. Although the thing is, the question isn't necessarily about the car, but it's about Max Verstappen and not being comfortable with the handling of the regulations.
Yeah, because he has been quite vocal about even back in 2023, he was quite vocal about the new regulations with what he was seeing in the simulator and reading the data and whatnot. And he had his doubts over it, but Red Bull as a whole, that package looks really strong. And as much as I'm gonna save my judgment for what the new cars actually are completely until the first 2 or 3 rounds, because at the moment it's looking 50-50 and not in a good way. But have you noticed that? I'll ask you boys, but have you noticed that as much as he's criticized them, it looks like he's already figured them out?
Yeah.
Is it just me, or does it look like watching Max's onboards, or even just stuff from the testing? It looks like he's figured this car out.
Definitely.
It kind of in the fact that he, let's take that first gear thing for example, where apparently Red Bull's this is something completely different. Red Bull's apparently designed their gearbox to go back to first gear without any harm, but there's even little things like that. Like the fact that he says he's already worked out that these cars aren't really good racing cars. Has he adapted so much already that he's just yeah, I know how to drive and get the most out of it, but this is boring. I might be crazy here, but if I was hearing that as another driver, I'd be thinking, oh crap, he's already worked out how to do this. And we all know what a freak we all know what a freak Max Verstappen is. I could be wrong, but just the vibe I'm getting that he's already sorted these cars out, and that's why he's saying, nah, these cars are shit, I don't like them.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. I just want to make a bold claim, though. Hadjar will get demoted at some point this year.
It's pretty realistic.
Oh, say that. Don't do that. You know how much I like Hadjar.
I love Hadjar, but I just feel like it's going to be Max carrying the team kind of year again. I don't know.
I'm going to say that you're wrong. I reckon Hadjar's going to be up there.
Okay. Yeah.
No, I'm just going to declare it now. Isaac Hadjar, chosen one.
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited to see how Hadjar goes. The fact that he went from not even racing the Australian Grand Prix last year because he crashed to being promoted to Red Bull. While I'm excited for that, I'm also concerned because Red Bull seem to speed run their development to the point where they're not ready yet. But I reckon Hadjar is a bit different in this case. And I'm excited. I just hope, I hope he keeps his seat. That's the one thing I want to see is want to see him in a Red Bull next season where he hopefully will be even better than whatever he ends up this year.
Yeah, you're not the only one who feels that way, Dan. But speaking of the, we'll quickly dive into the topic of the Red Bull second driver seat. You look at the drivers they've had. So who have they had since ever since Vettel and Webber left the team? You've had Max, you've had Ricciardo, you've had Kvyat, we've had Albon, Perez, Gasly, Lawson. But who?
The torpedo.
Yeah, so Kvyat.
Okay.
Yeah, Kvyat, torpedo. Look, demoting Kvyat I can somewhat understand because they were scared of losing Max and they used what he did in China and Russia as the excuse. He still stayed in Formula One for another couple of seasons, so it's not like it was the end of his career. Like, he wasn't the same after that. But in regards to when you had guys like Gasly and Albon racing for them, like, obviously Gasly was just the most logical choice because he was having a decent season in Toro Rosso back then. Ricciardo left to go to Renault. They're kind of like, oh crap, we need someone. Let's put him in. Then get rid of him after 6 races because they wanted someone up there with Max. And then when they put Albon in, initially he was really good, but then the next year, obviously Albon struggled a bit, and then they got rid of him and they got Perez in, and Perez was kind of like, the same process continued ever since then. Since they got rid of Perez, Lawson in for 2 races, then they got Yuki in. But I think the way that they handled Gasly and Albon, I think, was a bit shit. I don't think Gasly was that bad. I don't even think Albon was that bad. Like, it was just like, obviously no one's going to be on Max Verstappen's level. Like, the guy is a once-in-a-generation talent. The guy is an absolute freak. Like, he's kind of like he's kind of like an SVG of F1. Like, you just get in anything and make it fast. But the problem with Red Bull is, it may be different now, but the fact that we don't have Helmut Marko there anymore, or even Christian Horner, like, they've lost a couple of key personnel for various reasons, so maybe it won't be as cutthroat. Maybe Hadjar will actually have the time to adapt that he needs, and I'm hoping for his sake that he does. But again, F1 is a cutthroat business. We've seen it in so many other teams. But to the way they've gone through drivers over the last couple of years is just a crap look, in my opinion. And
it's really not good.
Hopefully they've learnt from that. Like, if you ask me, if you wanted me to be completely honest, I think Gasly should have been given more time. I think Albon should have been given more time. But how many chances was friggin' Perez given? He fell off the cliff after the first half of 2023.
Yeah.
Like, the first 4 races, he was good. Then Max just came out and said, you know what, screw you. I'm going to make you look absolutely stupid. Perez just like that. And how many chances was he given? He should have been out. I mean, yeah, he was fired the following year. So, like, it may be a similar time frame. But but you fired younger guys after 2 or 3 races. 2 to 3 races, like 2 races with Liam Lawson, maybe 6 races after Gasly. With Gasly, it's just like, come on, give them a freaking chance. Like, if you think they're good, if you think they're good enough to be in the top team, like, they're not going to put the thing on. They're not going to put the bloody thing on pole overnight. And that's where I think, like, people would say it's just like, oh, but you had rookies like Lewis Hamilton and McLaren. But the thing is, look, how long had he moved on McLaren for, like, in their junior program? But the thing is, season of it, but he's a once-in-a-generation talent, just like Max Verstappen. But I guarantee you, like, had he been the same and not been up to speed straight away, you wouldn't see McLaren doing that crap. You haven't seen Ferrari pull that shit. Well, not that I can remember. Not that I can remember anyway.
No, definitely.
Yeah, that's true.
No, completely agree.
Should we move on to last year's champions, McLaren?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I am convinced they're not champions this year. Wild statement. I mean, they could be. But last few regulation changes, they just haven't been there. But it's not... the way I see this year happening is it's not going to be like they're going to struggle. It's more about other teams just performing better. So it's going to be really interesting to see. That's for sure. In terms of pace-wise, to be honest, based off testing, they've been around the top 3. So, again, they would be a challenger for sure. But yeah, it's going to be really interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if McLaren. I'm very 50-50 because I heard a rumor that they have not got the latest spec Mercedes engine during testing.
No, they don't.
And they
they're getting that in Australia.
Yeah. So that's a big factor in it. But I also have heard a rumor that they spent a lot of time developing last year's car and they stopped developing it a little bit later than everyone else. So they might be at a bit of a disadvantage in that. But they've also got 2 good drivers. They're the reigning champions and they've got all that stuff going on. So
sorry, with that development comment, are you sure about that? Because I thought they stopped developing before the summer break.
Yeah, I think other teams were earlier.
No, because I know Red Bull kept developing right up till the end. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I think it was Red Bull kept developing late because Max was an outside shot at the title. But I read somewhere that for the last half of the season, McLaren hadn't changed their car, even if they did it with just minor. I'll have to look it up. But McLaren, McLaren. Daniel, I'm going to be honest with you with what you said. about not being champions. There is part of me that makes me want to jump through this phone and strangle you because you're shitting. You're saying that my team won't win.
Hey, they're my team too, all right?
but, oh shit. This is one for the blooper reel. Let me tell you why that's. But, and this is a very big but, there is a part of me that is extremely happy because I am still annoyed with the result that we've got Lando Norris as a world champion. Nothing will bring me more joy in the world to watch that slimy little. Oh my god. Here's the stupid part. I'm going to admit something crazy here. Like, when he first come onto the scene, I actually didn't mind Lando. I actually thought he was cool. But it was a couple of years into his career when the true colours started to come out. Ironically, it was after he started to become a regular podium finisher. It was like something, a switch had been flicked at him, and he just became this arrogant little bastard. I'm just like, oh god! Now it's like he turned. He virtually got the same attitude as what Lewis did in the later years at McLaren, where the whole world's against him, all this other crap. Or remember the Monaco interview? Oh, why'd you get black flag? Oh, maybe because I'm black. Like, shut up! Like I know he was trolling, obviously, but like he kind of, like Lando kind of got that attitude as well.
Yeah, no, he definitely feels very Lewis Hamilton-y based off how he's behaving. So hopefully, in the next few years, he actually gets a little bit better. But the reason why I was saying McLaren won't win is because Mercedes, I reckon they are back because they have been the real standout. I'm saying it early. They're in for a proper shot, I reckon, because they've been really strong in the shakedown and even Bahrain testing.
Can we just go back to McLaren for a second? Oscar Piastri, does he shake off the demons of 2025?
I hope so.
And also, this is a bit of satire here. Does he drive past doing this every time Papaya Rules gets mentioned on the pit straight?
Yeah, who knows? Well, the thing is, to point out, Mark Webber, I think he's fired him with a lot of McLaren's influence on that, I reckon, as well. So it's going to be interesting. I just hope he just takes his own race in his own hands this season because he played it. Considering he was fighting for the championship, he did become a team player, which, if you want to win the championship against your teammate, we've seen in the Senna Prost days, you can't do that. You have to take the mantle saying, this is mine. So, yeah.
Like, honestly, had McLaren not interfered, and this pains me to say this as a McLaren fan, but had McLaren not interfered at Monza and not done all that crap in the second half of the season, one, we wouldn't have Max being the talking point in the last couple of races, because realistically, I'm not knocking Max, as realistically as how good he actually is, he should never have been in that fight. And two, you would have had at least one of them world drivers champion, with about 3 or 4 races to go, not nearly losing it in the last race. Like, come on. But McLaren this year, definitely a top 3 car. It won't be the same levels of 2025. I can see it being a race winner. I can see Oscar getting a few wins. I can see Papaya Rules being in favour of Lando Norris. Oscar, I know it's only lap 1, but please let Lando through. Yeah, that's a story for another night. We'll call it Papaya Rules Salty Corner or some crap like that. But yeah, McLaren, yeah, they'll be a contender, but they won't have it as easy as they did last year, I don't believe.
Definitely agreed. They're going to have to work for it this season, that's for sure.
Oh, they're going to have to work for it a lot more. So who was next?
Dan was mentioning Mercedes. So
that's right. Sorry.
Yeah. Go
Let's talk about them because do you want to? I already briefly mentioned it, but obviously, strong performance and reliability. And, they're showing really good promise. Definitely, they'll be happy compared to how they started off the previous regulations. But obviously, George Russell, we know how good he can be. Question is, can he be world champion? That's the question. But Kimi Antonelli's second year in Formula One now. He's shown a bit more promise than George, to be honest. Every now and again, especially during the shakedown specifically. But I'm excited to see what they do as a team this season. Can they? I'm not sure if they could become drivers champions, but at least constructors, that's for sure.
Yeah.
You look at Mercedes, you look at what they've obviously got a good solid team, they've got a lot of stuff behind them, and they obviously did a lot of testing. Their pace was a little bit slower than Ferrari from what I saw, but I don't really think you should be fooled by that, to be honest. Like, they just seem really solid, really consistent. The Mercedes seems pretty solid, so but I think I got a bit of a bold call, is that I think that Kimi will actually be in front of George at the end of the year in terms of the championship standings.
It's not impossible. I think I would hand on heart not be surprised if come Abu Dhabi that Mercedes are world champions again in constructors, but I don't see them being world drivers champions. I think George will be up there for considerable amount of race wins, but he's never been in a championship fight before in F1, so it'll be interesting to see how he as he goes under the pressure. But Kimi, I reckon we're going to see something special from Kimi this year. Like, I think now, because if it seems like they've got a good car underneath them, we already saw what Kimi could do last year. Like, obviously, yes, there was a couple of mistakes on being a rookie, give him a break. But I think giving him the right car, we could see something very special from that kid.
No doubt, I completely agree with you. How he was such a great talent moving up the ranks. Toto, obviously, I think being his manager or he obviously had faith in him by signing him straight to Mercedes, not to Williams or anything, straight to Mercedes. So I'm excited to see how he does with his second year in Formula One.
Oh, me
too. Let him in a road car.
Exactly. Let someone else drive him to the track.
So I guess that just leaves Ferrari now, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, the rotisserie chicken.
Ferrari. Yeah, Ferrari. I don't know, depression.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Charles Leclerc just finally goes full Rambo and just like...
Yeah. Yeah, probably. But the thing that's a factor in Ferrari this season is they started their 2026 development in April or something like that last season. They sacrificed last year.
To that car.
No, they sacrificed last year to ensure that they have a good car this year. So far, testing is promising. They got the fastest lap times last week. Obviously, again, lap times don't mean anything. But as a Ferrari fan, it means a lot because we're rarely P1. So hopefully this is good, promising signs. Did you see that? Obviously, the starts in these cars are a questionable thing to talk about. But did you see the launch Lewis Hamilton had from 10th in that practice start they had?
Incredible.
Like, that was crazy. So if we see more of that properly this season, hopefully it's promising signs. But again, like I said, Ferrari, and you said, depression, because Ferrari get in the way of their own success a lot of times.
But also what you mentioned too with the starts, it's not going to be long before every other team is going to get onto that level and just be like, hey, we've figured this out too. So, Ferrari, it's looking like a decent package. Again, I reckon it'll be up there trading punches with McLaren, Mercedes, and Red Bull. Like, it'll be somewhere in the top 4 of the pecking order, I reckon. Whether it can be world champion, that's... The problem...
It's a hard question, isn't it?
I found with Ferrari, especially over the last 10 or 15 years, like, they can start a new regulations change really, really strong. Like, we saw it back in... Oh, gosh, what year was it? It was when Vettel was there. But what was the first year of the really wide cars? Was that 2017?
17. Yeah.
Yeah, like, they weren't the best car, but they were up there with Mercedes, who were just making everyone look stupid. But like, that was in one of the 2 seasons where Vettel was like trading punches with Hamilton for the title. Like, they started off that year really strong. The car was really consistent. Like, it wasn't perfect, but it was up there. And Vettel had a sizable lead in the championship at one point. But obviously, like, there was a couple of mistakes that happened that year, and team errors and whatnot, and a couple of mechanical failures, and that accident in Singapore. But then we saw in 2022 the exact same thing, or similar. Had a really good car to start off with, and the car that should have won the championship that year, but just reliability got in the way. Silly accidents happened. I mean, look what happened to Charles in France, pushing too hard when he would have won that race quite comfortably. And yeah, so it's maybe third time lucky for Ferrari. It would be cool to see like the team with that heritage back on top of the pecking order, and like they're outright. Like it would be cool to see, because Dole was like 9 years old the last time a Ferrari dropped. Sorry, not 9. It was about, it was about 11 or 12 years old the last time a Ferrari driver won the World Drivers' Championship, and I'm 31 this year, so it's been a long time.
Yeah, I was 7.
Crazy time.
And for context, my
13.
for context, my son's 5 years old. So it's been a while.
He hasn't witnessed. All he's seen for Ferrari is pain. He hasn't even seen glory.
His disappointment. Yeah, he sees this logo and he instantly knows it's disappointment.
It's just like when he grows up, it's just like, hey kid, you may think your life is shit, but imagine having this. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Imagine supporting Ferrari. I'm sorry for any Ferrari fans out there. Please don't slide into my DMs and abusing me, because I'll just abuse you back.
Didn't I already piss everyone off in post-round dumps?
His address is...
Yeah.
Wait.
His phone number is, yeah. Didn't I already piss off Italy last year for post-round dumps Christmas special? I pissed off Italy with comparing them to a rubbish bin.
It's like Mac is just going to drop a link to the description. I hope this email finds you well.
Yeah. Well,
I reckon Ferrari's going to be the fastest qualifying car. I reckon it's going to be fucking quick in my pace. But I reckon it's going to be a bit hit and miss in racing. I reckon, yeah, I don't know. I'm just not convinced they're going to be a World Championship material at the moment. But I reckon they're going to be a solid competitor. If they can sort their race pace out, I reckon they're going to be very solid. But I think that they're obviously quite big on their innovation at the moment. We've obviously talked about the rotisserie chicken. But then they've got like the bringing back some Red Bull vibes with like the winglet behind the exhaust. They're obviously using that generate more downforce.
Cool, yeah.
But the biggest factor, in my opinion, is the fact that they've chosen to use a smaller turbo than any other manufacturer. So that means they get their spills quicker. So that's why they get off the line amazingly quickly. And that's why even some of those smaller areas, the slower areas, slower corners, they seem to have a lot more speed coming out of the corner, which will help generate electricity quicker, apparently. But there might be an issue come the high-speed tracks, like Melbourne, I guess, where they probably might, not spill as much over a period of time with the longer straights. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. But I do think that's probably the biggest point of difference, and that's why I think Ferrari's been so quick at the moment. So
yeah, very fair
I'm
point.
actually, yeah. So I guess this is probably a bold call, but how about we predict who's going to win the Australian Grand Prix? Just one car, that's it. Like no. Oh, this one. Just one car, that's it.
Mercedes.
What's driving?
yeah, it's really hard to not say George Russell, to be honest.
I'm going to say George.
As much as I would love to say
I'm gonna
Oscar,
be bold.
I'm going to have to say George.
Yeah, I'm going to have to say George.
Okay. I'm going to be bold. Charles Leclerc.
Ooh.
Are you telling me Ferrari's actually going to do something decent? They're actually going to strategize?
The championship.
Yeah, but they need to strategize. That's the thing. I would love that. I won't say no to that, though.
I'm feeling 2022 vibes. I'm just feeling 2022 vibes. I'm just feeling like they're going to be really quick at the start of the year and just drop off. They're going to let me down like 2022.
Well,
yeah, that's accurate. That could happen.
It's funny you should ask who do you reckon was going to win the Australian Grand Prix. I was going to suggest we can revisit this at the end of the year. Who do you think's going to win the World Championship?
Oh.
Well, we can predict it now, and we can come back at the end of the year.
Max Verstappen. Do.
Are you saying he's going to not give up halfway? Like he's thinking of?
It could
Yeah,
win the
boy.
championship halfway through if he puts his mind to it.
Yeah, that's it. You know, win the season round 1, retires. Well, the championship is harder to predict because it's a bit too early to make a decision yet. But
Stop being a pussy.
But just like a fantasy, like
I'm
just
gonna
like a
say
fantasy type, like prediction.
okay. I'm gonna lock in Oscar Piastri.
Back in the homeboy.
I'm trying to manifest it early.
This is a hard one. I'm going to put Mercedes as well, constructors. I'm the one who asked the question, and I've actually got 2 different answers because I feel like it could go either way.
Nah, you have to get one. Just one.
No, I'm the one who
no
asked
soft
I'm the one who asked the question here, mate. I can add 2 if I want to.
Oh, bullshit.
Yeah, I didn't say you could. I've got this weird feeling. So hear me out on this one. We've already just had the discussion of like we think that Max has like figured this car out already, right?
Mm.
So there's every chance that Max will get his 5th title this year, not even trying. But I can see this weird battle with Oscar, like maybe similar to a 2021 style thing where they're just knocking 7 bells of shit out of each other. And like this is I know that this is very unlikely, but it'd just be hilarious to see those 2 side by side with like in the final race in Abu Dhabi, and it's just who doesn't punt the other one off.
Yeah.
It'd be probably the most awkward Australian-Dutch relationship since Abel Tasman landed in Australia.
Yeah.
But that's what I'd like to see. But if you're going for a serious answer, I reckon Max Verstappen.
That's a fair
But
call, yeah.
my heart really wants to say Oscar. I'm still ruining 2025.
But like in all seriousness, Lance Stroll.
Oh, hands down.
What, the amount of
No,
windows
that's
lit?
not even part of the question.
What's
That's the
the amount of
secret.
windows lit? Like,
Each Windows lick equals
North
extra
Motorsports
horsepower.
win, right?
what was
Yeah.
what was Rocket Powered Mohawks thing a couple of years ago? It's like this is measured in jammed licked per square inch on with Lance Stroll. Like,
Oh god. Yeah.
should we one random thing? I don't know if we spoke about it last time, but one random thing I think we should talk about is upcoming events that we're going to be doing trackside this year. I don't know if we spoke about that or not.
I honestly can't remember.
We talked about 6 hour.
Oh, yeah.
No, yeah, I think we mentioned the 6 hours. So for anyone listening, Maka and myself will be at the back for 6 hour in about 4 and a bit weeks time.
Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not that far away.
Oh, sorry, about 5 weeks time.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, so yeah, come say
Like
it. Yeah,
Even on the ass.
yeah, you have to deal with the missus for that one, but yeah, come say hello at the big campsite party we're going to be having. Yeah.
For me,
Sorry.
yeah, for me, I'll be at the Adelaide Motorsport Festival this weekend, and then after that,
that's
it's
this weekend,
most
isn't it?
likely, yeah, it's most likely the next one after that will be either the next RX8 Cup round, whenever and wherever that is, and AU4 for round 1 at Wington, which is I think the first weekend of May. I think.
Oh, yeah.
So that should be cool. Looking forward to getting back with that crew again. It's been a while. I think September was the last round, so it's been a minute.
Nice.
Yeah, and if anyone has Grand Prix tickets and wants to hook a brother up, let me know. 'Cause, yeah.
Times 2, please.
Yeah.
Sorry, times
Drove
3.
past
All
it
3 of
most
us go.
days. Yeah, times 3, yeah.
Oh, do you reckon it's too late to acquire a media passes for the Grand Prix and just be like, hey, we're the new kids on the block, like, we're a big deal, like, come see us in 5 years, like...
Yeah.
You could try and pitch it, but I'm pretty sure I know what the answer will be. And the first word starts with F and the last word starts with off.
Yeah.
I think we need Larko in the pod first. Then they can't say no.
Yeah, but
Maybe he can smuggle us in.
yeah.
Yeah.
Myself, the ones I got planned this year. So obviously the 6 hour in a couple of weeks' time. Gonna go back to the Shannon Speed Series again this year. Went last year. That was a really good event. Supercars Ipswich. That's a given. But I noticed something in obviously with the news of MotoGP leaving Phillip Island. I've actually been looking at going down because I haven't been to MotoGP at Phillip Island before. I've always watched it on TV, just never had a chance to get down there. It's been a yearly tradition for me and my mate to go down, have a boys' weekend at the Gold Coast 500, but then I realised that MotoGP and Supercars are on the exact same weekend. I'm just like, oh shit. So I've got to decide
right.
which one I really want to go to. I mean, the Gold Coast 500 is an excellent event. Like, it's such a good vibe, loud cars, like party vibes. Like, what more could you want? Like, apart from the kick-ass sunburn. But yeah, look, it's yeah, but that may not happen this year if I decide to go out to the bikes. It'll be one of the two. Just TBC, which one that is. But really want to do the 1000 this year, if possible. Really want to do Bathurst. Make the 2 trips down this year. So
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, so Supercars, if you're listening, hook us up with some tickets, please. XOXO.
Thanks in
but
advance.
also too, I'm going to be looking at whatever events are going to be on Queensland Raceway during the year. Yeah, so or even what I can do interstate regarding budget. So yeah, so I got a few events lined up, but yeah, the biggest one is going to be what I do in October, whether I do the bikes or the Gold Coast. Yeah, I'd really love to do the bikes, but yeah, I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, no, that's it.
I'm thinking about doing the MotoGP because I mean it's only bloody an hour and a bit away from me, and I've never gone myself to the bikes, but it's definitely something I probably should do.
I'll just come crash into the Maka and we'll go down to Phillip Island.
I'm gonna personally wait till they're 20 minutes away from me. Less travel. So no, I would love to go. I always wished to have gone there one day.
Motorsport Moshpit covers MotoGP. What are you waiting for?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all going to be staying at Dan's house next year in Adelaide.
Yeah.
Yeah. That should be good. That's the one thing I am excited about them coming here is they're coming to me. You know, that's the plus. That's why I can't argue too much.
That's why I was so happy when Supercars announced their return to Ipswich, because it's only like 40 minutes away from where I live. It's just like straight down the highway, bang there. But again, like I think I mentioned last fortnight's pod, like it was like from like 2Ks up the road, it was 90 minutes just getting in the gate, and I was like, oh damn! Like I said, it would have been quicker just to friggin' walk in.
Yeah, I remember how long the wait was for the Super Series, the high tech oils, and given how they're not as popular as the supercars, although keep in mind that road is quite small. It's not a lot of road. Between the kart track and that.
Honestly, that part of Ipswich is just a shit tip.
Yeah, no, I don't know if they can do much about it though either. To be honest, I mean they might be able to. No, I don't know. I've only been there once.
They talk about like highway extensions and all this other garbage, but nothing ever happens.
No, nothing really happens when the government's involved anyway. Usually, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Obviously, they're committing to the MotoGP street circuit, but the question is whether it will become a reality or not is yet to be seen. So, I guess we'll have to wait and see. I'm okay with that.
You know what would actually be cool, and it'd make supercars just epic to watch? Have a street circuit in every capital city in the country.
I'm okay with that.
Like, we had Canberra for so many years. Like, can you imagine, like, we had Sydney, we had Homebush for a number of years. Let's put one in the Brisbane CBD. Like, it'd be chaotic, but it'd be awesome.
Yeah, why not?
Bridges half the time, aren't you?
Yeah.
In the river and...
Yeah,
that'd be cool to watch. Actually,
have it cross from the river from South Bank to the other side of the city, and just do a loop around that. Like,
yeah,
you can literally watch it from the casino for goodness sake, or sit on the top of the Ferris wheel for like 6 hours.
Yeah.
Like, you just imagine the promo, like supercars South Bank, like.
Yeah.
Sick, yeah.
Should we start making a?
Yeah. I think we should knock it down because nature's calling.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can leave that one in.
That's fair. After all, it is a relatable podcast.
Yeah, I don't think we meant to go over 2 hours again, but yeah. Anyway, all good things along. So
that's it. We're compensating. At least we're going longer. Yeah, we're going longer than a typical Red Bull Formula One career as a second driver. So.
I would say, like, these 2 pods alone are longer than Isaac Hadjar's Australian Grand Prix last year. Like,
well, this is these last 2 pods combined is actually quicker than Fernando Alonso's Aston Martin. for 2026.
I reckon if you
Sounds like a
combine
similar
if you
lap
can
time.
if you combine these last two episodes, you could have like Canada 2011 playing side by side, and they probably finish around
Yeah.
the same time. Like,
Oh my god! Don't give them ideas. Yeah, to be
Well,
honest, we wouldn't be
actually,
too
here's
far
an
off from it.
Yeah.
actually, here's an idea. What we could do is do like an hour and a bit episode next fortnight, and that way we've matched the 2023 Bathurst, but we're more entertained.
Yeah.
But no, like that was a good chat tonight, fellas. So yeah, hope everyone listening enjoyed. If you've made it this far, congratulations. Go get another 10-pack. You're gonna need it.
Yeah. That's it. Now, it's been cool. Thanks for again, hosting the pod. That's the whole point of this podcast, Motorsport Moshpit, is to simply talk shit. Just chill and relax, crack open a cold one and just have a blast chatting. And obviously it's gone for too long, but but it's been great though. Lots of topics. And bring on the next one, I guess. We've got heaps to talk about. Obviously, Formula One's next weekend. Of course, Supercars will be on next weekend too at the same place. So we'll have plenty to talk about next time for sure.
Starting soon as well.
IndyCar's not too far off too as well, which is exciting.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Lots to talk about in the coming weeks, that's for sure.
Lots more to talk about coming up. I just want to say a quick thank you to everyone who messaged us or just made general comments in passing about the feedback of the first episode. There's no real big expectations here. It's just three mates just coming on here just to talk absolute crap because we love motorsport. But the feedback we did get is really outstanding. So and quite humbling as well. So yeah, thank you for the support so far. And we'll just keep doing what we're doing. Not to give too much away, but we do have some guests lined up in the next couple of months. We just got to work out dates and whatnot. So, yeah, some cool times ahead, I guess.
Again, boys, thanks for joining me again. Of course, it's been fantastic. Thanks, Maka, for hosting the recording session, of course, and going through all the editing and uploading. Be sure to follow us on social media, Motorsport Moshpit. We're on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, apparently Spotify as well, which is cool. And also check out our socials as well, apparently. Not my words. But you've heard it here first from Maka. But yeah, be sure to check out our own social media as well. We've got our own profiles. But thanks for watching, guys. And of course, we'll see you in the next one.